the regret is that a lot of like just basic processes and systems that should have been in place way earlier than they were. Build a business that solves your personal problem, and that's exactly what our approach was.
There seems to be a real differentiation right now in the marketplace too, because so many people are focused on the commission compression.
It's, we don't have air conditioning here, and it was starting to get a little bit stuffy, and I was like, well, I don't want to have the windows open, which I normally would, because there's definitely going to be road noise and all that. So
don't know how you live with no air conditioning.
Well, it's only like a high of 74 today. So
is this the heat of summer for you?
Oh gosh, no. So the heat of summer, it has gotten up to, I think, well, in my area, the highest it's gotten was like 94 or 96.
Interesting.
And so I do have like a this portable AC unit where it has like a hose that goes in the window and then it pumps out air. And so I would have that going.
What in the actual fuck are you talking about?
What is that called? Isn't it called like a swamp cooler or something? Like, what is that called?
No, a swamp cooler is where you take a fan and you take a an ice chest and you have that blowing air. But this
we
is
had
like
swamp coolers in California.
Oh wow.
In the desert.
I don't know what this is. We have actual AC in Arkansas, so
I know. I wish Washington would get on board with this. My building was built in 2018. You would think that they would put air conditioning.
Yeah,
in,
for real.
But
that is, yeah. I mean, don't they know the globe is warming? Put AC.
The sun is warming. I will have you know.
If it was true, maybe more people would like put AC into modern buildings. if this is like a real concern, maybe we should look forward a little bit.
On this coast, they really do think that is all happening.
Well, you would think they'd put AC in there then.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, you think they do a lot of things, but
well, I'm excited about this week's guest, even though I didn't pick them, because of the guest name that they chose.
Oh, I told them to be creative. If they weren't going to put like mystery guests, they had to be creative. What did they put?
I like it. Mr. Barbecue.
Ooh, so it's a Mr.
We think
Barbecue.
it's a Mr. Well, we don't
away.
know.
That's
we
true.
think it is.
You're assuming
they could be fooling us.
Like, I just assumed their gender. That was was incorrect of me. That was not PC.
Yeah, very non-Seattle of you.
That was not PNW of me. So
no, I'm stoked about it.
Cool.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Okay.
Should be fun.
I'm going to take notes while you're introducing your guests because I always forget their name immediately and I feel really bad. And then it takes me about half of the episode to pick up on what their name is again.
That's hysterical.
So I'm trying to set myself up for success.
Watch this episode.
Yeah, hopefully no guest watched the show. Or Matt Patello is going to be really upset.
Rebecca's like,
I chose him, so I do this.
What's their name again? Who is this? Why are we talking to this person?
Pachulo has been hounding me. He's like, when are you guys going to release the episodes? Why am I not the star of the show yet?
You should tell him like, Matt, we
down.
actually released, but yours didn't make the cut.
Oh, I'm going to do that. It's gonna be so good.
We'll start with a different one, and he'll be like, "Wait, what happened, guys? I thought it was
Wait, that would be really funny. Actually, he would be so offended by it too. He's a perfect person to do that too.
I love pranks. This will be fun.
Okay, well, so our guest today is my guest. Very excited. This person will lead with. They have been a recipient of the Inman Innovator Award.
Ooh.
Wow.
They were a realtor. I'm actually not sure if they're still a realtor, but they were.
Okay.
They're West Coast. They've had a fantastic podcast that I'm a huge fan of, but it doesn't run anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Trying to get them to restart the podcast. And I don't understand the barbecue thing, but that'll be a good question that we can ask once they come on.
They're actually vegan, so the barbecue really doesn't make sense.
I don't think so. But
it's West Coast, so you never know.
One of the things that they've said in the past that I really think is kind of catchy that I've always liked about them is one of the I guess trademarks or taglines is think outside the box.
Think or thank?
Thank outside the box.
Oh, interesting.
So, so Ray, without further ado, let's welcome to the show, Mr. Jay O'Brien, the mastermind behind Client Giant.
Hey!
Hey guys.
Client Giant.
How's
up,
it going,
buddy?
Jay?
Awesome. It's going well. How are you guys?
We are doing
That-
well.
it's just I would say long time no see, but I just saw you a few days ago
I
Just
know.
literally.
for the
Just saw
first
you in
time in
Dallas.
5 years.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
So crazy. Speaking of
Full
names,
circle.
we got to go around and everyone's got to introduce themselves because there's no names on here for me either.
There's not. Yeah, I think there's a way to do that. Maybe
Oh,
we'll
it doesn't
advance.
show?
One day we'll have a producer and we can do cool things like that. But no, there's nothing.
Wait,
you do
Ray,
lower
you've got this
thirds.
fancy system and it doesn't even show everybody's names.
No.
Why do I even
well,
put my name in?
There's a.
This is
Right.
pointless.
There should be a way to do it.
I will say,
you
Jay,
guys
that
can
I
see
am
my name.
offended that you don't know.
No,
my
actually, I
name.
can't see your name.
Oh, we
either,
haven't
Jay.
aired any podcasts yet.
That's true.
My buddy keeps telling me he was on, but then was wondering where the hell the episode is.
Perfect.
Well, my name is Rebecca. It is nice to meet you, Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, I think I found it. My name is Ray. Hi, Jay.
Wow, 3 R's.
Yeah, we were
We-
real
we-
close to
we've-
doing something with that, but
We like the
didn't.
alliteration.
Hey,
Hey!
there it is.
And Mr. Barbecue is
So
still
what's the
there.
Mr.
I love
Barbecue
it.
thing? Was that just something you made up, or is there a story behind that?
There's a story behind it. Ray, I thought you were excited for the name because you knew the reference, and then I would have been really, really, really excited. But there's like a very old school Orange County punk band that had a song called Mr. Barbecue, like way back in the day.
Oh,
Nice.
It seems like something Ray might have known.
right?
Yeah, that's kind of off the wall oddities.
Wait, so
Yeah.
what was the name of the band?
Guttermouth.
Guttermouth.
Now I want to find it.
Just
This
like
I
podcast
do
has,
remember
like,
a
a very
Guttermouth,
just
though.
dirty,
music
dirty
vibe.
punk music.
We
Mr.
keep the
Barbecue.
musical theme going. Every
Yeah.
single guest has had some sort of musical connection.
Do you
So
play
do you want me
an
to-
instrument, Jay?
Yeah, I play guitar and drums.
There we go.
Oh, really?
See, this is what I love about this. I mean, I've been talking to this guy on and off. I interviewed him twice on my old podcast
Mm.
and never knew he played an instrument.
You didn't ask the right questions, clearly.
No, because I
Rick,
was stuck on all the real estate shit.
Music has been my life since I was a little kid, and I played in a band from like 12 years old to like 27 years old. So it's only recently in the last 10 years that I have not been playing music, but it was a very big part of my life.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Was it like in the emo punk
Oh,
genre, or was it else?
It was like progressive rock at the end.
There you go. That's about all I can play before we get a takedown notice, but that's
Oh.
rad.
So we're gonna all have to look that up after this.
Was that
I know.
Bruce Lee in the back of that cover art?
It sure was.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Guttermouth. I actually remember Guttermouth, but I don't remember the song specifically. I remember they had one with Godzilla on it.
Yes, Terry Yakamoto is the name of that album.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Look at that. I do know odd
So I
ball.
actually am really excited now.
So I had a friend of mine in college or high school that was really into stuff that you couldn't find easily. And
Yeah.
he, everything mainstream, he would like be like, ugh, it's mainstream. I hate it. And
I know the
he'd
type.
find,
I know
yeah,
the type.
yeah. Well, that's cool. So what you played drums and what?
I first started to play drums when I was very little, like 10 years old, and then I started writing songs on guitar and stuff when I was like a teenager.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, I played in like hardcore bands, metal bands, like super aggressive bands, and then that later evolved into like more progressive, easy listening sort of music, and then that's the one that kind of we had a few studio albums and like played a ton of shows and stuff like that.
What was the name of it?
Champagne Boulevard.
Ooh, fancy.
Just out of our first 6 episodes, we could put together a pretty
A
awesome
whole
band,
band.
and like tour with a real random tour,
Podcast and concert series.
right?
Yeah. you guys have something going here.
I mean, we at least need to get some of you guys to like write some music for the show.
Yeah,
Right.
We need a theme song.
I'm sure you can get the rights to Guttermouth for about $5.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
gosh.
right. Yeah. That's
Maybe.
how it
Challenge
goes these
accepted.
days, right?
Yeah.
Challenge
If they're even
accepted.
still around.
Are you trying to find his band online, Ray?
Yeah, progressive rock psychedelic hard is what I have so
Ooh.
far.
That's
that
what
right?
it says?
Yeah, you have 6 monthly listeners still on Spotify,
Yeah,
by the way.
we're killing it.
2 of those are Jay and Jeff.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
actually all us, just 6 different devices.
That's right.
It's
I love that you
required
still have
when you
six.
work at Client Giant, you have to sign up and be a listener.
Yeah.
Do you only have 6 employees at Client Giant?
Yeah, that's it. We actually have 30 employees and 6 clients, so we're overstaffed.
Lies.
That's how it goes. All right, is this you? I'm gonna bring it up. Is that you?
No, what is that?
Oh, Champagne BLVD.
That
That's the
is
wrong-
it though. I mean, that's just not. I don't know what that cover art is or anything.
I don't know
It's
either.
fan art.
Does this sound like your music? Is that your music? Can y'all hear that?
It actually sounds like our music, but that is not our music.
Oh, it's
So that's like the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. Do you have Spotify? It's on Spotify. I mean, you can
You
do
have
it
an
that way.
imposter.
I don't know
We have
what. Yeah, I
Spotify.
know. Speaking
Right.
of imposter,
Ooh.
you will not believe what I stumbled upon yesterday, Rick.
Oh, I haven't.
There is a copycat company that came out, and they literally took our exact marketing video. Like,
No shit.
if you
Whoa.
watch ours and then you watch theirs, you're gonna lose your mind. And I just saw it for the first time yesterday. I was like, I am positive this is not legal.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What?
They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but you know, it's still kind of awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks.
I know we talk a lot about rip off and duplicate, but that's a little to the extreme.
Yeah.
It is literally verbatim, same language, same words, same
Wow.
same visuals, everything.
Wow.
No way.
We'll put it on TikTok. They will rip them apart.
They will rip them.
Yeah, yeah.
TikTok
What
is not a fan of that stuff.
I want to ask what their name is, but I don't want to get the publicity. So I'm just going to assume they're like Customer Colossus or something.
There you go.
The Client Giant.
Yeah.
That works.
Wow. And
That is
you know,
crazy.
I don't know how many clients you have right now, but I mean, you've been going strong for going on 6 years. So, I mean, they can
Yeah.
try to copy what you've done, but that'd be you know, what's funny? Well, not funny, but there's actually a local agent here who just released that she's bringing on her first 10 clients and offering, she says this a similar kind of service, but I'm like, oh, like she's grassroots. She got like one printer in her garage and yeah, good luck.
That's where they all start. That's where all the
appreciate
big
your
ones
support.
start, Rick. You really have to be leery of anyone starting in a garage these days.
You know what's funny is so
True.
when I first stumbled upon Jay, I didn't realize that like he had just launched and just won the Innovator Award and everything was brand new. So I don't know how many clients you had in 2018 when I started using you guys, but I'm only now realizing that it was like the beginning because everything was freaking awesome. I thought you guys have been rocking for a while.
Thanks. Yeah, we I guess we faked the funk pretty well. We went live with our first beta in May of 2018, and then we launched officially at Inman, San Francisco, July of 2018. So you were right there, right in the very beginning.
You launched at Inman?
Yeah, like
That's
I was
quite the
speaking
launch.
there. Yeah. That's where the award Rick's talking about came from. It came at that conference.
So wait, you had just started a couple of months before, and then you won the award within a couple of months. Tell me more about that. Like, how did that all?
Hey, Jay, how'd you do
Come
that?
about.
Is this a who you know situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the origin story here.
Yeah,
How did this
yeah,
all
that's
happen?
right.
You
That's
basically
right.
Start with
find
your
the
birth.
person who's in charge, and then you just bribe them with a bunch of money.
That's it.
Easy.
So it's like all real estate awards then.
So
Yeah, the
Yeah,
2024
exactly.
Innovator of the Year is the Real Random Podcast.
So
Dig deep,
actually,
people.
the way that award happened wasn't specifically because of Client Giant. It was because in January of that year, I spoke at Inman in New York and kind of spoke on this playbook and this philosophy of what we do. And that idea they consider to be innovative, even though it's literally just like taking care of people who take care of you. That was enough to win an innovation award, which is a little sad, but
Mm.
that's kind of what happened. So I actually didn't even know that this existed. I found out through someone else. They said, congratulations on your nomination. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? And then when I was there in San Francisco, I saw my face on a bunch of things like with the nominees. And there was like Josh Flagg from $1 Million Listing and all these people. And I was like, how the hell am I on this thing? And then the next day they announced it and I won. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Did they choose
Yeah.
a good picture? Because it sounds like they didn't even ask you.
They didn't even ask you.
They had my photo because I was writing articles for them and speaking at their conferences for a few years.
Okay, so there was
That's
an
very cool.
approved copy out there.
Yeah, there was.
It was the
You
official.
can tell.
unofficial.
You can tell Becca's her fear is the wrong photo. Like that's the
That
huge
that
fear.
did just happen actually. There was something got published like 2 weeks ago, and I saw it and I was like, where did this photo even come from? Like, I don't even know when this photo was taken. How did you get it? It was not an approved photo.
It's from back in the Champagne Boulevard days.
It's a valid
Yeah,
concern.
I wish it was. Then we get up to 10 monthly listeners.
Here you go. We're gonna add to it. I think this is y'all. Oh man, see, I
That's
can't play it on
That's
here.
it.
Gosh, Ray, can you get it together?
I don't like Spotify because it doesn't let me play on the computer. But I'll play it on my phone.
All right.
We'll figure out a way. I
We'll-
want to
we'll
hear
come
this.
back to that, I
We'll come
guess.
back to that again. I
Yeah.
guess.
All right. So, did your life change after getting this Innovator Award?
No, my life didn't change. But I will say, and Rick, you heard about us through a magazine, right?
Yeah, you had an article in Florida Realtors magazine that year for
Okay.
For the Client Giant thing. It mentioned Inman, and it was just like a little column on the side of the thing
Okay.
with your
so,
Instagram handle.
Rest in peace. Haven't been on Instagram in 3.5 years.
It's changed.
Yeah, I don't miss it. So I think what had happened was January, I spoke at Inman. We had announced that we were going to build a tool that does everything that I was talking about for years at speaking engagements, and finally decided to put technology behind it. And we built an interest list from people who were engaged with that talk. And they were our first people that we marketed to and said, hey, we're going into beta. Do you want to try this out? Do you want to be an early adopter? And that hit pretty quickly in May. And then in July, that helped a lot because, we had a platform there. We were speaking. So that got some notoriety and spread even more. And then inside of 6 months, we were in 50 states in Canada. So it was pretty cool. It spread pretty quickly.
That is pretty fast.
How much did you have to increase your staffing during those time periods, or was the system you built, was that able to kind of shoulder most of the burden?
Oh man, no. I mean, when you talk about wearing a lot of hats, I mean, you're doing everything. So like the live chat, the emails, the sales, the fulfillment, everything. And in those early days, it was just myself, Jeff, and our now CTO. That was it. So we didn't hire our first person until April 2019.
So Jeff's been there since the beginning.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, we co-founded the company together.
So, when you say you didn't hire your first person until 2019, it was just you and Jeff doing everything.
And
Or
Brad,
did you-
yeah, our CTO.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's a lot. That's amazing that you guys were even able to scale that quickly.
Yeah, we're completely bootstrapped. So we never went out to raise money and hire a bunch of people. We just did it all ourselves and got our hands really dirty and worked very, very long hours, and then eventually built up enough of a momentum to bring on employees and go from there.
Would you do it the same if you had to do it all over again, or is there a different choice you'd make through all that?
I would absolutely do it the exact same way. The only thing I would say that was a very big miss to any entrepreneur out there who's starting a business is Jeff calls me ready, fire, aim, because I just like get shit done. I'm not like methodical with the strategy. I'm just like, just do it, just go. So like when we went live, we're like, just sell it and fulfill it, So the regret is that a lot of like just basic processes and systems that should have been in place way earlier than they were. It's much harder to play catch up with that. Like with inventory and accounting and like all kinds of like different boring things that are intertwined in a business. And so once you've got a few years under your belt and more volume, you're like, there's a lot more to undo and redo.
But sometimes you can spend too much time just ready, aim,
Yeah, it's
aim,
the other
that
side
you
of
never
that.
actually fire.
100%. Completely agree.
That's more my speed.
I wasn't going to call you out on that,
I mean,
but
it is true. It's very true. So you're in the real estate industry, of course. I guess, did you focus on them first for a particular reason? It seems like you kind of launched, well, I most know you from the real estate sector. Are you in other sectors, industries, or are you pretty much just focused on real estate agents?
Yeah, very much so in other sectors. It was just in the beginning, it was low-hanging fruit. My background's in real estate. We had an audience for it. Most of the packages and plans that we launched right out of the gate were specifically catered to real estate agents because that's what I know how to speak to. And then we started to see client-based businesses of any sector start to roll in. Primarily, we saw financial services. So financial advisors became really hot to trot on Client Giant. But it could be an attorney, it could be an accountant, it could be any insurance, anyone who wants to retain business and get referrals and make people feel special on an ongoing basis, they would engage with Client Giant. And we ran that model exclusively, just business owner to client for the first couple years. And then COVID hit and everyone was sent home. And all of these companies that we were working with that had employees said, hey, what can I do for my employees? And we're like, yes, we need to engage with employees on behalf of employers, especially now that they're stuck at home. And in the beginning, one of those things, if you guys remember, during COVID, everything was about being an essential worker. And if you're in an essential industry. So we very quickly made a ton of coffee mugs that said, my boss thinks I'm essential.
Oh,
And
That's amazing.
that was the first employee happiness gift. And so that kind of started that division of the company. So now, to answer your question, Ray, for the employee happiness space, it's completely industry agnostic. We have companies from all shapes and sizes, different walks of life that will use this to take care of their employees, whether it's for their onboarding, the first day, work anniversary, birthday, special moments, no reason, all kinds of stuff. And they just set it and forget it. And then the client care, they would choose the appropriate service for them as well. So we're kind of tackling both now.
that's really cute.
I didn't think you were going there.
Oh, what did you think I was going to say?
Like I thought you were going to
had
say
something,
something
like, deep
yeah,
and-
yeah,
Oh.
something more.
Well-
Yeah, that's cute.
Sorry, I was basking
No, it's
in the
fine.
moment of it being, I was thinking about the sentimentality of it because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of companies don't show any care for their employees and they don't show any care for their clients. And to be perfectly honest, this is very different from what a real estate coach that I attended one of their seminars the other day was saying. He's like, oh, when you call them and tell them happy birthday, also ask them for a referral in the same
Right.
conversation.
Oh man.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's so gross. Why would you do
that's
that?
right up your alley, right?
Yeah, so tacky.
Yeah.
I need
so,
to know who on the DL.
Oh, I
later.
will definitely tell you.
Send a text message.
Yeah, that's not our style.
No.
Well,
We're gonna out
so
him.
when I first found Jay, like if you can go back and on YouTube, I think the videos are still there from you doing your talks on like just what people say about realtors when they do the reviews and like just how low the bar is set for us to exceed expectations. And that was the talk that Jay was giving when I was like, dude, this guy is like, he's nailing it. Because in the first one that we sent out, I think I did a buyer package for the very first time for like $350. It was one of the lowest priced buyer packages because my home sales at the time were like, $150, $200. And the first time, the first one that goes out is the what is like shit for your realtor to worry about, the little box.
Yeah, the stress relief kit.
Yeah, the stress relief. And it has like calming tea and a scalp massager and a little notepad that it says like stuff for your realtor to worry about. And it has like just random like fun stuff in it that I would never think to put in a package and send to a client. But that first client that got that, I mean, I think I took a picture and sent it in to you guys because I was blown away. I mean, they were so over the moon excited and thrilled that they got this right after they went under contract. And then it was 5 more gifts through the contract. They were like, we've bought houses for years all over the place. We've never had anybody do anything like this. And so that's when I was like, okay, this shit works.
That's awesome. Love to hear that. Love hearing those stories.
There seems to be a real differentiation right now in the marketplace too, because so many people are focused on the commission compression and how much this or that referral source is taking away from real estate agents. And then how much brokers are in trouble right now. There's some giant flagship brokers that are not making a ton of money and they're trying to look at their margins and they're cutting staff or trying to gear up for what's coming in the marketplace. And with all that discussion about the, small commissions, it's going to be really hard for agents to provide real incredible experiences for their clients. But in the end, that's who's going to win. That's who Amazon's been focused on. That's who all these, Apple, the client experience and the experience of the person that's holding their device and the end user experience is what we all have to focus on. But in a marketplace in which our commissions are being compressed, we're not making as much money, it's more difficult. I think you're going to have a huge differentiator with people having experience like what Rick just described, somebody in the process of buying a home and they get these, as Becca called it, cute things sent to them, but they're also timely and it makes sense. And it kind of develops and deepens that relationship to where from now on, that client's going to send so many people to Rick. They don't have to worry about going through Zillow. They don't have to worry about buying from another lead source. So I think I think it's going to become more crucial than ever. And I don't know what you guys are seeing with the, 60,000 real estate agents ducking out of the industry. What I'm presuming is the people who are using your service are going to be around a long time because it's probably just a different caliber of agent.
Especially over the last year or so with interest rate hikes, we saw the lower producing agents fall off and then the higher producing ones double down. Because to your point, it's totally a mindset thing. And Rick, what you just said when you said you bought the cheapest package because your home sale was only $150,000. That's such an interesting frame of mind for me to hear, because you're investing $350 into your client, no matter how you look at it. And that's super admirable. I'm used to speaking with people who go, this doesn't work in my market because the house is only 150 or because it's only 200. So they'd rather invest zero. And you're saying, it's just so interesting to hear that. And it's so ironic because it's no secret that, it goes for not just real estate agents, but any business owner. Our favorite source of business, hands down, is a referral. Like, you're not like, my favorite source is an open house. My favorite source is a flyer. Like, no, your favorite source is the red hot referral business where you've got built-in forgiveness with that person. You've got a third-party endorsement already. Like, it's yours to lose, kind of. Yet, to your point, Ray, no one is really doing anything for those referrals, at least not in the form of client experience. They're doing it in a way that's super cheap, like Rebecca said, like calling, hey, can you refer me business? Sending a bunch of stupid shit to people's front doors that makes no sense, and they just write some pun on it, and they think that's going to get them all kinds of business. And it's just very inauthentic and tacky. So at the end of the day, what wins? Like, be a human. Like, at the end of the day, if you feel cared for, if you feel thought of, and you feel special and important, you will remember that. Like, and what do you know? Like, that will be a knee-jerk reaction with some human reciprocity where someone will then give you a referral because they want to help you. You don't even have to ask for it. Every referral I ever got, I never asked for one of them. It should stand on its own. Like, you go to your favorite restaurant or see your, favorite movie or whatever. When you went out to tell a friend about that place, there was absolutely nothing in it for you, except for you selfishly got fulfillment knowing that they've experienced what you've experienced, and you can share that. So it's very easy to emulate that same thing in a real estate transaction and long after, because it's a unique industry. We're able to leave an impact for 30, 60, 90 days, unlike most professionals out there. Most professionals don't have that luxury. They're like, this is more transactional. And the fact that we've got that much time, we gotta leverage it.
It's, so I try to do the transaction plans when I can. I've been doing so many listings that I haven't been using as many, but on the top of mind, when those gifts go out, sometimes I'll miss the email that says, hey, we're getting ready to send out a gift if you need to make changes. And I'll miss that. But then after the gift goes out and I start getting the text messages and the DMs, it's almost like clockwork. Every quarter, I'll have at least 2 or 3 people reach out, not only with a thank you for the gift, but that's the trigger of, hey, we got the towel. Hey, we got the tea. Hey, we got the this. Oh, by the way, I just gave your info to my friend who's thinking about moving to the area. So those gifts every quarter, it's the top of mind plan, and it does exactly that. It keeps you top of mind. And I always get the same thing. It's thanks for the gift. Oh, by the way, I got you some new business. Thanks for the gift. Oh, by the way, I just sent your info to somebody. And it's just crazy. It really is clockwork. I could go through my text message, my DMs, and just send you so many examples where it's a thank you and a referral in the same message.
Well, Rick, we got to get you on the seller packages. Your listings. It's not just for buyers.
I know.
I like that you said that even though you missed the email, it's still going out, because that shows how scalable it is, where it's not relying on us to remember, because I know me, I'm going to forget stuff like this until it passes. And then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do something, or I didn't pass by. And then it just doesn't happen. So this way it's set and we're able to focus on getting other clients or serving our current clients, but also not forgetting about our past clients while we're
That's the
doing all
only
that.
reason why I signed up, because if it involved me doing something, it wouldn't work. Like Jay could have the most perfect thing, and if it involved me doing something, I'd screw it up. So the
Yeah,
fact
I
that
mean-
it is automated is the only reason it works for me. 'Cause
You know,
I'm
they
not
say
that
like
guy.
build a business that solves your personal problem, and that's exactly what our approach was. Because just like you, Rick, my whole life I want to be as frictionless as possible and run on as much efficiency. So, I mean, back in 2018, there was not a single company that I knew of that was doing anything like this, and to this day, there's still not one that I know of that's doing the gift curation and all the automation. There's some element of customer has to pick, or the recipient actually has to pick. And we wanted to build something that had no roadblocks and no bottlenecks, where we could say, hey, Rebecca, client care is a big pain point for you. You need that taken care of. We're going to handle the people, the timing, the gift curation, the message, the delivery, shipping's free. You just literally say, yes, I want this, and you're done. But we will give you visibility and control should you want it. It's just not required. So like, if something goes out and we trigger an email to Rick and say, hey, moving boxes are going to your client in 2 days, and he's like, oh no, skip that, delay that, whatever, he could do that. Or here's the message that goes with it. Oh, I can edit that. 96% of people do not edit our messages. So
Yeah.
It is what it is.
yeah.
Are you going to
Because
have?
we forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And they
we're
do such a
busy.
good
We're very
job
busy.
of, like,
Yeah.
I would never pick the gifts they send. And the message is better than what I'm going to write anyways. I only make sure that it doesn't have my full name and the company on it. I just make sure it just says from Rick and Katrina. And then as long as it stays that way, I just leave it alone.
It's smart. I mean, Rick, again, a very unique thing for you to say, because normally people are like, is my face on the moving boxes? And you're like, no. Why the hell would your face
They would
be
be
on a moving
fucking
box?
awesome
Like-
moving boxes, by the way. If they could we do them with me? I've
Rick's
got a picture
face,
of me
I
in
mean,
a
look at
Christmas
It'll
that face.
actually
onesie.
be
That's a
like,
good
you
one.
know, like a sphere, like a head.
People would order
awesome.
more.
Yeah, can I get some of those just for me?
They would display them in their homes.
But yeah, people are just, they cannot help themselves to like want everything to point back to them. Like, is my logo going to be on it? Put my name, put my face, put all this stuff. And you're like, what you're trying to do, you're actually going backwards with that mentality. Someone who just gets something from Rick, that feels personal. If it's like Rick Gonzalez, real estate company, phone number, email, like, I see, this is no longer a gift. This is marketing.
That's true. So I noticed on your website, you're not pictured. So it's kind of, I guess it's ingrained into who you guys are to let what you do speak for itself. There's no back to back with you and Jeff, which, would be stellar.
Yeah, nothing like that. And I mean, really, at this stage in the game, we can't take all the credit even by a mile. Like, our team is what does everything. Like, all the great customer service, all the operations, fulfillment, everything. It has, Jeff and I are not doing that. We are not responsible. Our team is just incredible. We're very grateful for them. So if anything, they should be on there, but then we probably have to change that photo all the time with like new hires.
Yeah, true. Should just keep adding to it. Well, if you ever did a photo shoot, I'm pro the worst photo shoot. I think that's the best.
Yeah, like just like a sloppy, just like, yeah, I love it.
On purpose. Like, you do the old real estate poses, like have a phone with a cord to
I
your
love
ear, like all that. That would be
Remember,
sick.
Ray, I'm a punk rock guy. I'm all about going against the grain.
The
Speaking
Sears
of-
glamour shots.
Yes, that's right.
Going against,
speaking-
wasn't that your
speaking of-
tagline back in the day? The anti-realtor.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was my Instagram handle, anti-realtor, and everything I wrote was under that, and I got a lot of shit for that, but I still stand by it to this day.
Do you still have that Instagram account?
I don't know.
Oh man, I'm gonna look it up. I was
He
gonna
sold
ask
it to
you.
the broke agent.
Yeah,
Shoulda if you hadn't.
I kind of should have. That was around the time, actually. He was on our podcast, like maybe, I don't know, 2015 or 16, and that's when I had that handle.
But you
I
have
was gonna
another
ask you
podcast?
about it.
Yeah, Eric from the Broke Agent. So
there
a long time ago.
there is the anti-realtor, but there's only like 2 posts, so this is not. They're not.
All social accounts that I have been deactivated for a very long time. So there's hopefully no trace of me anywhere
no
except for LinkedIn.
Just on
maybe.
LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, LinkedIn only.
All right, so I have 2 questions. One is, you were a real estate agent. Did you have sleeve tats as a real estate agent?
Yeah, I did.
How'd that impact you?
So it's funny you say that. I did something again that people told me not to do, but I did anyway. And I took a picture of myself fully suited and put it on one frame. And then the other one, I was wearing basically nothing but really short shorts. And I have tattoos on my legs and stuff too. Yeah. And the tagline was "The agent with nothing to hide." And so everyone could see the tattoos and stuff. So yeah, I always leaned into that. I mean, you know, I'd wear suits and stuff at listing presentations and whatnot, just because that's what you do. But I never really like hid them or like was ashamed of them, you know.
I've always wanted sleeve tats, but that's the one thing keeping me from it is one day there's going to be a $5 million guy that's going to be like, meh, like,
maybe.
Oh, God, so much money.
Do you think he would really care? I mean, if you're showing up to the listing appointment in a suit, but you're going to wear a suit, right? So you're going to have your sleeves all covered up. Unless you're getting a head tat, what does it matter?
Yeah.
A head tat would be, I mean, talk about.
Ray, I think you're just focused on the aim right now. And you got a fire for that tattoo.
Fire. We're going to get them. So my second question is AI. Are you guys finding interesting ways to integrate AI with the gifting and messaging and all that kind of stuff? Is it helping you at all, or are you just kind of sticking with your system right now and don't really find a way to plug it in?
I'd say we're using it, but we've just barely scratched the surface there. So like it's been helpful with little things here and there, but it's not like the business depends on it or even that it's been a big contributor yet, but I'm sure it will be. I'm sure in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll find ways to integrate it in that definitely are being shown.
Yeah, I noticed you've been integrated into a lot. Like you guys are like the Cranberry of real estate services.
Oh, elaborate on that.
Yeah.
So there's an old bit by Brian Regan. No, there's an old bit by Brian Regan that talks about the Cranberry sales guy, how he's so good because they're getting into everything. Like you like apple? How about cranberry and apple? We call it cran apple. You like banana? How about cranberry banana? So I just noticed like everywhere, everything I'm involved with, from Follow Up Boss to Tom Ferry to Intercom, like all these other things, it's like, oh, you like Tom Ferry? How about Client Giant Tom Ferry? So your cranberry sales guy is doing overtime.
This is so good. Awesome. Oh my God, that's incredible.
New marketing coming soon.
Yeah, there's something there. There's definitely something there.
We're going to see on the new was it Ocean Spray commercial? There's going to be Jay and Jeff in the middle of the cranberry field.
Cranberry.
Do you like cranberry juice? How about cranberry juice and Client Giant? Show your customers you care.
That's right. So I'm asking that because I see you're like integrating with all this stuff that we're kind of involved with, and you know that's rad, but where do you go from there? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that know you guys. So what are the next steps for Client Giant?
I don't know if that's a secret. We can't talk about that yet, can we, Jay?
Yeah. So like
you like Real Random Podcasts? How about Client Giant?
Yes, let's do that. Mr. Barbecue will be featured.
Yes.
We have his own segment.
Yeah, so like Follow Up Boss, that's just an integration. So we have lots of integrations just to make the ease of use there for our members. But like a Tom Ferry or LPL Financial, some of these bigger parent companies, those are actual partnerships. So there's like strategic partnership with their organization and ours to kind of collaborate on things. And we're now the exclusive gifting partner for Tom Ferry. So not only do his coaching clients use us, but also Tom Ferry International uses Client Giant to take care of people. So it's become quite meta. And so, I mean, to answer your question, the future is hopefully a lot more of that with all kinds of industries and in the employee engagement space. And, you know, that those partnerships are great.
That's cool. Do you still write?
Do I still write like copy?
Mm-hmm, yeah, and you have a lot of articles and stuff that are still out there. Kind of.
Yeah. In fact, there's been quite a few published recently. So yeah, I still write.
Have you ever thought about writing a book?
Yes. We had
it was a defeated.
He's like, yes. And
we had.
Should I say the next thing?
He's been thinking about it for a long time.
we had a book deal proposal come to us like maybe 1 year ago, pretty much exactly. The reality is it takes a ton of time to do it the right way. And writing the book is like not even half the battle. It's promoting the book. It's selling it, and honestly, I'm just so hyper focused on what we're doing at Client Giant that I don't want to take my eye off the ball in any way, shape, or form. Our literary agent was saying like, Jay, you've got to get back on social media. You've got to be like in the face of people. This is like 1,000,000% my worst nightmare. Like, I just want to live in the shadows and like live my life. So I don't know if a book ever happens one day, Ray, I will not be the one to write it. It'll be completely ghostwritten. So you know that now.
It's gonna be written by AI.
Yeah, AI written.
100%. Yeah, it won't be me writing that book.
But these days, there's so many tools you can use. You can just basically talk into a microphone to say what you're going to say, and then somebody ghostwrites it or they convert it and all that.
You're right.
A lot
There's
of tools
probably
to get it
enough out there of me talking that AI could probably write a
compile
book
the book for you.
Yeah.
Ironic that the guy with sleeve tats doesn't want to draw attention to himself. Just saying.
Yeah.
That was in a punk band.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a really subtle guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Punk lives in the shadows too.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
And we only have 6 monthly listeners on Spotify by design. We don't want anyone else.
Ray mentioned before that you were in real estate, and you've also mentioned this. You started in real estate, then you came up with Client Giant. What kind of prompted that transition from selling houses to selling experiences?
Great question.
Mm-hmm.
So I started selling real estate in 2011. And in the very beginning, like anyone, I was doing anything and everything I could possibly do for a deal. I mean, on Fridays, I was looking up on Craigslist what garage sales were in the area. And then I'd look up those addresses and see if those people were like listed. If they weren't, I'd solicit them and be like, maybe they're going to move, like just anything I could possibly do. You're very scrappy, especially in the beginning years. Like anyone does, you ask for referrals. You ask for 5-star reviews, things like that after each transaction. And in 2013 or maybe 2014, I decided to do a self audit and just be very, very honest with myself. What's going to keep my business defensible for the next 10 to 20 years, especially with all the tech monsters coming in, wanting to take over the agents entirely, and just your local competitive agents, right? Like, what's going to make you relevant long term? So one of the first places I went was Zillow to look up the reviews on myself, all of which I've asked for, right? So it's no secret that I go there and I'm like, wow, there's 95-star reviews about me. Like, yeah, I asked for every single one of them. So they better be 5 stars, But what I was actually looking for wasn't like the rating, it was the review itself. And so I started to see the commentary of Jay was super professional, always on time, super knowledgeable. We got the home of our dreams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going through all of these reviews. And when I finished, I was like, holy shit, I am in a bad place because none of those things are worthy of being commendable. That is literally somebody just doing their job. So could anyone in my sphere be doing exactly everything I was just commended for? Yeah, that's not going to keep me in business. So what I decided to do was kind of map out the customer journey of what does a real estate transaction look like? What are the peaks? What are the pits? You get an offer accepted, that's a peak. You're going through inspections, that's a pit. Like there are stressful moments, there are exciting moments. And I believe being a service junkie, like very, very sensitive to a client experience at a restaurant, at a resort, anything, like every little touch is something that I've paid attention to my whole life. And I said, this needs to get integrated into the real estate process. So that's how it started to get integrated with like an under contract gift, moving boxes, packing tape would be sent to them and say, hey, Ray, one less thing you have to worry about. We take care of the forwarding of address, transfer of utilities, any and every pain point I could think of. And then celebratory moments, like someone's loan gets approved. Well, everyone's so hot on a closing gift. Like, I don't want to celebrate that the transaction's over. I want to celebrate along the way. And so contingencies would get lifted. I'd send like a bottle of wine. And the touches continued on and on and on. And to Rick's point earlier of what he's willing to invest in a client, I was willing to invest a lot. And it's not like my commission checks were huge or anything. I was dealing with first-time home buyers buying condos 10 years ago, So for me, I was just like, if I stand to earn $10,000 on a deal, will I spend $1,000? Yeah, I will, every single day of the week. And that's what I did. And so even post-close, they would be sent to dinner at a 5-star restaurant with round-trip transportation provided. They'd get completely wined and dined to celebrate their closing 30 days post-close. I'd send a mobile car wash detailing service to their home or office the weekend after their move. All kinds of touches like that to elevate their overall experience and turn what I was getting as very passive referrals into super, super passionate referrals. Like now people were referring me in a way that was like, oh my God, you've never seen Shawshank Redemption. Are you an idiot? Like you need to go see that movie kind of thing. And so if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about like working with this agent, they're like, trust me when I say you have no idea what you're about to experience if you work with Jay. So they became not only my raving fans, but my sales force, and my business took off from there. And then in 2015, I was named 30 under 30 with National Association of Realtors and started speaking. That's where the speaking came from. So they asked me to people want free content. They're like, can you write an article for this, an article for that? That, the Florida magazine, Rick, I don't even remember that, I mean, I was just pumping out articles for
It was
anyone.
a great article.
Yeah, thanks. And then after speaking on this topic, which now this talk I've given like all over the country. And I mean, I was flown out to South Africa to give this talk and Toronto.
Wow.
And so I've talked about it so much that finally in 2018, when I was at Inman, New York, I realized, this is just another rinse and repeat. Everyone in the audience is like super fired up about it. They're writing their notes, they're taking photos of my slides, but no one's executing. No one's doing it because it's a lot to do. Like, there's no secret as to why I don't have a 6-pack. I know how to get one, but I won't do that. I won't do the work for it. Right. So it's very similar to that. And I thought, well, why not just do this for people and make it super, super, super easy? And it'll all come across very authentically, because it's not like I'm just some guy with an idea. Like, I've been doing this myself for years. I am a real estate agent, and that's how it all got started.
I can't imagine the scalability of going from you doing this to then you just starting to take on people doing it for them as well to where you are today. Like, that's an insane amount of scalability. But I mean, I assume that now you get the buying power of getting a whole bunch of stuff in bulk and then
absolutely.
repackage it.
Yeah. And I mean, really, it wouldn't be possible without the software that our CTO built. I mean, everything's proprietary in-house. And so when I say that I co-founded the company with Jeff, and then we had our CTO, Brad, he was full on developed, designed everything. And so all of the, these emails, it's not like someone's emailing you. It's an automated email, and automated triggers to fulfill things. So yeah, I mean, we would have been crushed if we didn't have software doing this stuff.
You don't just use the if this then that app.
Yeah.
The whole platform.
You just gave away his secret.
That's the whole thing.
Gosh, Jay.
Jay, do you know about how many people you have in your system right now?
As recipients?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ballpark.
300,000, something like that.
Nice.
Wow. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. You doing?
Well, you're gonna have more after this call.
This back is giving you a call.
Yeah, honestly, I've been kind of on the fence. I've heard a lot of good things about Client Giant, but I don't know. I go back and forth on things sometimes of is it actually worth it? Am I just looking at the next shiny object? But
aim.
Yeah,
she's talking about me.
Aim.
Well, test it.
Yeah.
Try it out and test it. It's very, very rare for people to use top of mind as an example. It's very rare for people that go bullish with it. You can't put 5 or 10 people on, but people to use it and then cancel. It's rare.
Yeah. As I'm hearing you talk about it, you're describing the type of client experience that I have been wanting to give my clients, both during the transaction and after, but just haven't had the organization or the top of mindness to do it, because I forget. Object permanence is a real thing, and it's out of sight, out of mind. I'm on to the next thing, and it's not that I don't want to show my clients I care about them, because I do, in my heart, but
of
I
course
just haven't had the systems in place. So this alleviates that problem.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point now. I actually use it for friends, like for the weddings and babies, and if someone's not feeling good, I've used those services because now that there's so many things in there now that weren't there when I first started using it. But they've got a lot of one-off gifts that are kind of situational that you can use for anybody.
That's a great
But
idea.
I have my title agent in there. I've got my lenders in there. I've got kind of a pretty good mix of a lot of people in there that get gifts, and they all love it.
Yeah, if someone
I
has like a
think I
new
should sign
baby
myself
or
up.
yeah, it's like lots of people do that. But the situational gifts, yeah, if someone has a new baby or there's like want to express condolences to someone's sick, there's like all these different situations, and because your people are already imported there, you just press one button and you're done. We already have your payment method. We chose the gift. We wrote the message. We have their address. It's not like a e-commerce platform where you have to go through this checkout. You just press one button and you're done. Same with holiday gifting and all that stuff. It's just that easy. And to Ray's point, yeah, purchasing in bulk, we see an enormous benefit there. So the problem is most people won't do this themselves. That was really the thing in the very beginning. But now it's more than that, because even if someone had the time to do it themselves, there's no way they're spending less than they would spend with us because of the discounts we're getting and passing on to you. It'd just be impossible. Like we did these nod pods one year. You remember that one, Rick?
Yeah.
These beautiful like weighted sleep masks that you can buy at Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, and they sell for $36 in their store. That's one of 4 gifts that went out. So, and mind you, we are doing this in a thematic box with a card, fulfilling, shipping. It's all included. So if Rick went to Nordstrom to buy that and paid tax on it and bought a box and went to the store, you're into it for at least $50, and that's just one of the 4 gifts. So at this point, it's like not only streamline your life, but also it's become very, very cost effective.
Well, and I wouldn't even know where to begin to curate some of the shit that you guys send out. I don't even know. I mean,
where do you find that stuff? Sharper Image?
We have a weighted blanket, but I never knew they had weighted eye masks to help you sleep. And my clients, they went nuts about it. That's why I want to sign myself up, because sometimes I'm a little jealous. Like I get all these messages. They're like, dude, this beach towel you sent me is so perfect, or this thing is so delicious. And I was like, well, shit, like I didn't get any of that. Like,
sign your spouse up.
I get a gift.
Yeah,
that's right.
And what you've probably found too, Rick, is like the power isn't even so much about the actual gift. It's actually even more about the message, like what ties it in. Like if you got like this iced tea that just went out, if that just showed up at your door and without any context, it wouldn't hit at all,
Yeah.
Similarly, like the eco-friendly dryer balls we sent out, like we craft a whole story as to why this gift was chosen and why it's being given to you right now. And that's really what impacts people, because they're made to feel thought of.
This lady, when she gets hers, every time she gets a gift, she takes a picture.
We can't see who that is.
Oh, sorry.
It's just all blurry.
Oh, there you go.
That's better.
It's the tea that just went
out.
out.
It's the tea that just went out.
Nice.
Cool.
But every single time she gets a gift, she takes a picture, she sends me a message, and then we have a nice long conversation about, what's been going on with her. And it takes away that, Sharon just had a video about the whole, don't just, I'm calling to follow up. I don't have to call to follow up. Like they reach out to me and start the conversation because they get the gift, and then I get to see how the family's doing, hey, what's going on with this? And that's when I always get the referral or the, hey, by the way, my son's moving, or we're thinking about selling. And it's like they are the ones giving us the icebreaker to have the conversations that all the other realtors don't want to create.
Jay, were you the type of agent that would just do an incredibly good job and people loved the job you did, but you wouldn't be friends with your clients at the end? Or were you the type of agent that you were like friends and buddy all the way through and would also do a good job?
It was mostly the prior, but the funny story here is that Jeff, my now business partner, we met because he was a client of mine. And what happened was he went into a Wells Fargo to get pre-approved. That lender said, I'm going to send you to an agent to work with, and he's going to become your best friend. And Jeff said, I'm not looking for a new best friend. She called me and said, this guy's coming to your office. He's going to be your new best friend. I was like, I'm not looking for a best friend. And he is now my best friend. He's my business partner. And he was the best man at my wedding.
Aww.
Oh,
so there are exceptions to every rule.
Cute. No, that's making sense. No, the reason why I ask is because I always find myself kind of in that position where there are very few clients that I remain friends with long term, because I'm so focused on, working for them and getting them the deal they want. And we get rave reviews at the end. And then, we see them around, and sometimes they'll come to our client events, but sometimes they don't. But it's never that, I've had several clients call me after the transaction and after everything's over, after we've called and checked in, like a month or two, and they're like, we just missed talking to you. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
is everything okay? But I feel like that would be a real fill in of a gap. It's not like a communication, but it's a thought that goes out when you don't have to actually sit down and do something to send that out. So
it can spark conversation, but at the same time, it's like maybe no words need to be spoken. Like you're constantly illustrating your sentiment, and it kind of puts it on them. If they want to talk, they'll reach out, like to what Rick said, versus like something super invasive, like a Popeye, like there's never a time in my entire life that someone has popped by like, this is perfect timing. Like, I'm so happy you're here. That's literally never happened and never would happen. So I think it's just like a more authentic and classy approach.
And I like that it's quarterly. I think when people try to do things like, bi-weekly or monthly, sometimes it's like, God, that's a lot. Like, I don't talk to my own family that much, And so I think when you call in a client or sometimes a stranger monthly to check in, that's excessive, So monthly, quarterly, a little gift, it's enough where they don't forget about you, but it's not too much where you're like, okay, I get it. Like, we get the Fruit of the Month Club. Did you guys ever sign up for that?
Jelly of the Month Club?
No,
that's
it's
what
Fruit
I'm
of the
thinking
Month.
too.
I know.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Jelly of the Month Club.
I wish it was jelly. No, one of my wife's old vendors from one of her past jobs, and I'm talking about like 7 years ago, put us on a Fruit of the Month Club. So every month we had a box of fruit, and it's like strawberries, pears and cherries, like nobody likes, and we get them. It's to the point now where I don't even know who it is that's sending it.
How do I stop it at this point?
It's
Really?
like,
Wait, you're
when are
still
they-
getting fruit from this person?
every single month.
Is there a message
7
with
years.
it? For
Just a
7
box of
years.
fruit.
Just a random
Just a box of
fruit
fruit
with no
and it
message,
says,
no word who it's from.
to refrigerate. So I'm like, at some point, this person has to like get a renewal and
Stop
think like
it, yeah.
they've never called
Change
me.
their
I should
credit
probably-
card and
no.
What's the point?
Fruit
what
of
if
the
you're
month.
just stuck in some kind of gifting organization system? They don't
weird.
realize that you're continuing to get it years down the road. I love this.
They just
Yeah,
really
it's
don't want
crazy.
you to get scurvy. They're very concerned.
So while we have Jay on here, I do have a request, and I know this might not be doable, but for me in a small market, when I go shopping on Client Giant for my clients, there are a lot of really, really, really cool packages that just are not available in my market. Like, I can't send a closing gift and send them to a major league, ball game or a concert because they don't have it around here. Can we work in, like, can you just go ahead and get like your own airline, or can we work something out where I can spoil my clients like you do in California for small markets, or how can we make that work?
Yeah, so the default on packages like that would be something like that, like sending them to a sporting event or a concert, or like a really high-end tea time, depending on what their interests were. So if something like that were populated and the suggestion didn't hit for you because you're being notified, you would just say, hey, can we swap this out for like we got this one where they're like, oh my God, my client's been dying to see this play. It was like in Chicago or something. We're like, yeah, that's fine. Send them to the play. So our member experience team is absolutely incredible, and they constantly just find ways to say yes. So if there's a hiccup or something that's irrelevant, all you got to do is raise your hand and we'll make it right.
That's
Just
cool.
that easy. Glad I asked.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah.
And I'm also in a small market, so we don't even have a pro team in the entire state. But the Razorbacks are our pro team, actually. College
Isn't
is
that
our
your
pro.
Instagram handle?
Yeah, it's a big deal in Arkansas. Razorback,
Okay.
that's me.
The Razorback. Well, we have a few pro teams here in the Seattle area, so
You
Just
do.
rubbing it in.
I don't follow them though.
You don't have AC, so.
So it's all about balance. We don't
I'll
have
take my
AC, but
AC.
we have sporting teams and beautiful mountains to look at. So
Oh, well, you guys have any more questions for Jay? Jay, you have anything you want to talk about before we let you get back to
Any famous
whatever it
last
is you do?
words?
No, I'll just say thank you guys so much for having me on. I love your setup here. I love the smart list vibe. It's great.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate shooting the shit with you guys. It's been a breath of fresh air. Almost every podcast webinar I do is just business, and it's like kind of draining. It was nice just to kind of take a more casual approach to it. So thank you for that.
No, that's the intent.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
hanging out.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So it was great to see you guys the other day.
Likewise, finally put a face to the name. Can you believe it after 5 years?
I can't. No, but I'm gonna frame that photo and put it above my monitor right here.
Above the gifts he's now gonna put after putting himself
while
on the
listening to Champagne Boulevard and listening to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Singing to you.
Oh, which I think actually.
Did you finally get it up?
I think I got it up.
Wait, is that our ending music?
Is this you guys?
That's just an interlude song. But yeah, that is. Yeah. I wouldn't listen to that song. I would listen to.
Gosh, Ray.
It's not really like a song, but I would listen to. I saw you had Hurricane of Headlights pulled up. Anything off of that album, I would listen to. It's called.
This one is. There's one that is. It's like some of these are only available for special or something. I don't know. Like not your whole library is not on. The whole library is not on Spotify. So we're gonna go find it.
Are you a Spotify premium member?
No, I'm an Apple Music guy.
Okay, well it should be on Apple Music too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language.
I mean,
can you tell that Ray's our tech guy?
Yeah,
he does so well with it.
Bad.
Blue Bubble.
Give a Hurricane of Headlights or Overhead Architect a listen.
Here's Overhead Architect. Oh, it's very real estate related.
Yeah. So this is actually like a concept album. So it's narrated throughout the entire album.
Oh, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's safe to say industry.
That's you, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And now I have to drop it down so I don't
Renaissance
get taken down.
man, Jay.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
How many years ago is this? 2010. All right. Back in the day.
All right, Jay, we're gonna get you
7 monthly listeners.
seven whole listeners breaking records.
Actually, you went to Apple, so now our
it doesn't even count.
Yeah.
I'm curious though if you get a royalty check for that stream that we just gave you.
It'll be like.
His Venmo just got a 25-cent deposit.
Yeah. Members are going to call and be like, we're back, guys. People are listening.
Time for a reunion tour.
What's Client Giant? We're done with that.
Call Jeff. Sorry, Jeff. We're closing it down.
Yeah, maybe you should put some music industry execs on your gifting, Jay.
Yeah. Get back out there. Get back out there.
The old days of tour. I'm sure.
I'll get a message next quarter. They'll be like, "What is this CD that you sent me this?"
Yeah, I noticed you didn't send a CD player with it.
Yeah, that's the important part these days.
That's true. Does anybody even have CD players anymore?
We do, because we went out and bought a little CD player that connects to Bluetooth just so we could play old CDs on it.
Nice.
I have a turntable but no CD player.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Jay.
Awesome,
yeah,
Jeff.
Thank you guys so much.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye. That was fun.
What is with the music connection? This is so crazy.
I know.
Everybody is like a musician. That's wild.
It seems like musicians are creative enough to like really, I
wonder if we'll find any like artists, like painters or sculptors or any other creative types, or if they're all going to be musicians.
I think it has to be maybe some sort of performance aspect, because
like ego driven.
Well, I was going to say,
now that he's gone, let's talk about that ego, eh? Golly, Rebecca.
Talk about giant. No, I was thinking like just.
Although I did see Rebecca blush when he was talking about being in just shorty shorts and nothing.
Yeah, that is true.
Did I blush?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I don't blush.
Ray's got the playback.
It's my makeup. It's the heat. That's why I have the fan
it's the
on.
heat from
It's the
not
air
having
conditioning.
AC.
Exactly.
No, but I think you're right. There could be something there. It's those that are bold enough to go out and do, and if you're bold enough to sing in front of a whole bunch of people, then
right.
Yeah.
A lot of us are former theater kids too, so
Yep.
I think that there's a lot of correlation there. Except for you, Rick. I don't know even
No,
how
I
you
was gonna
got
say,
into
no,
real estate.
as a little kid, I was. No, as a little kid, I was.
So you did some
I
theater
did all the
then?
school plays. Yeah.
Okay.
But did everybody do all the school plays? Was this
No, are
just
you kidding me?
required acting?
Well, you remember I
That's true.
did school in England, so it was very thespian, and there's lots of
Oh, yeah.
Shakespeare and lots of that kind of stuff in England. So
Did I know that? Did you tell us that?
I need to
We
hear
need
it.
to have ourselves on the podcast to be like, so tell us your background.
You don't even tell the other person. It's like, this week, Rebecca is the
me.
guest. Our special guest this week
Right.
is
So we
Rebecca.
actually bring on one of our former guests to be a special host
Right.
while one of
Yeah.
us is
to grill you.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Or bring on your mom.
We could bring- Oh,
My mom would be so nice because she's a good mom.
That's right.
Lord.
Now,
Your dad
my
would be
dad, on the other
hilarious.
hand-
That would be amazing, though.
Maybe
Wait,
that
how
could
do
be
you know my dad would be hilarious?
From your post about him on like loving the beach, and then
He's like,
he
"It's not a
turns
real
around, he's like, "This is not a real beach." That's fantastic.
Maybe after we snub Matt's episode, that could be like his consolation prize.
I'm going to immediately tell him this. Be like, so we talked about it, and that episode just wasn't the vibe. So we're actually going to scrap it.
Our later episodes are much better.
Yeah, we learned a lot. We learned a lot in that one, so we've made some improvements. So
You're just not the caliber of guest that we're looking for.
Oh my gosh.
we took a vote.
That's fun.
And we actually played snippets of your episode for our other guests, and they're like, "Yeah, that's not the
No,
vibe."
that's not it.
Doesn't. Yeah.
He's too into D&D.
So funny.
Yeah, D&D is the worst.
We would have
For those
to-
of you finding us on episode 6, go back and listen to episode 1.
Oh Lord.
Episode 0. So the next one will be episode
That's
1.
right. That's right.
But this is all working out though, because I mean, seriously, I've interviewed Jay and Jeff twice
Mm.
in length and didn't know half of that stuff about them. So this
Yeah.
whole
Really?
thing is working out really well.
It does seem to be
I love
pretty
it.
random, but it's an interesting random. We're still learning about what they do in their businesses and such. It's just
Yeah,
more
but
about
it's nice because with 3 different minds that just come from different directions, and I feel like Rebecca is our Sean. Like she's a little bit more organized, and I see her glancing down at notes like she has questions written down.
She's writing notes.
know.
It's
I write the
impressive.
notes. I wrote down everything you said about him so that I could have something to refer back to in case I forgot. It's not that I'm organized, it's that I have ADHD.
Still didn't
And
ask you
I
about
have-
barbecue.
Well, we found out it was from the song.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It wasn't from
Yeah.
his actual
on.
cooking barbecue.
Get with
No,
it,
no.
Ray.
Although now I'm hungry.
It is
True.
lunchtime. We didn't ask him about his podcast.
So if you
but we
guys
asked
want
about
to
the other
listen to
things.
the podcast, I love the way it was done. It's called The Lift, and it was 2 seasons. It's very short seasons, but they're very well done. But they said they won't bring it back because it was very heavy production, and they just don't have the time for it. So, but I loved it. It was so cool.
The Lift.
Yeah,
I'll give it a listen at some point.
Yeah.
I have a lot of podcasts that I listen to.
I know. Just check out the first one and see, and then you can always get into the other ones. But yeah, lots of good stories and anecdotes, and it was one of my
Okay.
favorite podcasts back then.
Cool.
So yeah, all right, guys.
Good show, guys.